Scano, Ani, good morning, Alan. Nice to see you, white spotted horse. It's
Good
always
morning.
a pleasure to begin my mornings with you. Thank you. And yeah, this is a beautiful morning. The sun is shining. It's nice, got a nice little chill in the air over here in Ontario. And we're so excited to see you today.
I'm glad to be here. I get definitely this is my favorite time of year, and for me it's reflection. Like first of all, getting ready for winter, putting things away, but it's reflection time, and Thanksgiving's coming up, and I have a session with grandmother Gail on Monday evening, and she wants to talk to me about Columbus Day.
Really?
Oh yeah, because it's
That's
all
okay. It's important.
it is how you take it from chi by ceremonies like honoring the dead is some cultures, right? But to the Anishinaabe is to honor our ancestors. So it's a time of harvest. It's time to invite your neighbors, come and have harvest with us, enjoy. So that's Thanksgiving. That's gratitude. That's the original story. But
Mhm.
but little did they know that you get invited to their Thanksgiving and then they poison you. So that's
What's the story?
the true story of Columbus Day, leading up to Columbus Day. So
Yeah.
I'll be going into that history.
Well, we'll look forward to that. That is this Monday on the Grandmother's Voice platform. Grandmothers and grandfathers speak from the heart of the mother. So, Scano, again, to everyone that's joining us this morning and those of you who are joining us later. My name is Jody Harbour. I'm a co-founder of Grandmother's Voice. We're an organization building community. That's what we do. Build community and belonging, and we're growing. People are showing up to support each other, to love each other, to create the new world together. And Alan, I'm so honored to be in this circle with you, with your guidance, with your love and your encouragement to continue on this path of truth, reconciliation, love, and bringing people together to live the good life. So, Nyawa, for today, I'll let you take over from here.
All right. Where did I begin? I'm just gonna say we only have this. Maybe is it two more, and then our series is done. Well, I'm doing a training as well this weekend, Saturday, and it's activating your Merkaba. So it's like as usual. I'll go into traditional teachings, and then eventually I'll get into sacred geometry, new symbols. So I just happened to say, oh, I had this open. I might as well get into this for this session. So I'm gonna download this PowerPoint one more time. It worked earlier. Let's do it again. There you go. You see that, Jody? All right, good.
Yes.
Good. Now I call it six helpers because it's going back a little bit. I know I presented just briefly. The six helpers is our pipe ceremony, but it's also to remind us who's helping us on our journey. When we say let's go on an earthly journey, we have our helpers. So this is where I'm going to do the presentation from. Got to introduce myself. For those that are new here, Wabski Manisizet Mr. Nisnakas, Bezuni Nudem, Ishkuna Ningdonji, Anishinaabe, so two name. Bezuni Dudem. I am White Spotted Horse of the Lynx Clan. I'm from Skowhegan First Nation of Treaty 2. Anishinaabe Soto, I'm of the Lynx Clan, and my common name is Alan Sutherland. And I represent my own lodge called GNU Healing Lodge. And on that first slide, you can see GNU Lodges.ca is how you can find me. And once again, this is a series I forgot the number. but we went over many teachings. And today I'll be talking about the 6 helpers on this journey. And as I said earlier, I was thinking about all these symbols that are part of our journey. And the journey is, I already talked about our origin stories and how it all began, and how all these beautiful from vision, from dream state to a thought, and then a vision, and then creation. I talked about that. I talk about what's leading up to this session is talking about to all these symbols that are around us. And even Tesla said that the answer to, no, I'm not doing it accurately, but the answer to life, to understand life, is through vibration and frequencies. But when it becomes more and more of observable in the universe, then they show up in symbols. And symbols are all around us. So I'll be teaching some of this on the weekend. A lot of these symbols are scientifically proven, but it's also seen in mysterious locations like crop circles. And these ancient spiral symbols are everywhere. It's in nature. Spiral symbols. And there's also taught in a circular fashion. So you see all these circles that are taught, including our sacred hoops, or sometimes known as medicine wheels, the tree of life, spirals. They all have a meaning to give us insight to the greater mysteries. And I have a lot of medallions. I have a lot of like Metatron's cube and flower of life, the seed of life. You know, these are ancient symbols that were only kept to themselves. People in rituals that do these ceremonies kept all these symbols to themselves. They would never share any of this. Even the flower of life was just maybe they'll take like the egg of life, the fruit of life, and expand it to the seed of life. But they won't teach the full story of it. They won't teach about the flower of life and so forth. They keep it a secret. Now, the one that be doing the workshop is called Activating Your Merkaba, which is at the end. I'll be teaching a meditation way of activating your, like, fine tuning. It's fine tuning that light that comes down. So this way, all aspects of you equally are activated. In other words, you fine tune that radio. So this Merkaba symbol has an ancient Jewish mythicism to it, representing a spiritual tool that connects to the higher realms. But this wasn't just the Jewish people. The Egyptians have used this symbol, and many others have used this symbol. But it's very similar to a lot of symbols that we're closely associated with. Now, the Merkaba is represented by 2 interconnected. I don't know. This is the first time I'm even going to even say this. I just keep reading things. The tetrahedrons. Well, all symbols are not 2D. They're in movement. These are movement. They're activated. They're always moving. And such as the Merkaba, one facing upwards and the other one facing downwards, that rotate in opposite directions. So it's it's basically going, different directions at the same time. But it's also it was also seen as all equals. Like the teaching goes when it comes to the Merkaba is as above, as below, as within, as without, and that got me thinking about this training I'm going to do. Is it's in our ceremonies, it's in our pipe ceremonies, it's in the sweat lodge, and I want to make that connection into from ceremonies to how we can use it in terms of activating our connection to the universe, and how that ceremony connects us to that. Then leading into talking about these symbols, and then doing the exercise where I'm activating that Merkaba within each person that's coming to my session. Now, once activated, the Merkaba bridges consciousness from physical body to the light body, allowing consciousness to transcend to the material, transcends from the material into the spiritual plane of existence. And everything is circular, is embedded. You can see this Merkaba in a lot of these symbols, like all the circles connecting to us, but it's always centered in the middle, expanding outwards, and it's infinite. It's infinite. And this got me thinking more and more about the sweat lodge. And then the sweat lodge, when I'm doing before I get into the ceremony itself, I start off with a pipe ceremony. Now, as we're sitting in a sweat lodge, I'm just thinking about how the sweat lodge and us are connected to each other as we sit in there by activating, initiating with the pipe, with the smudging, with the offering of tobacco, with the pipe ceremony, and then the songs and the medicines that are going on inside. It's just raising ourselves up to all that connection. It's also receiving all that connection into us. This picture was just the other day. I was looking at the symbols from inside the sweat lodge, and I know that my sweat lodge is about is made as our connection to the stars, a portal to the stars, and how it's built and taught to me was that sweat lodge is actually circular. It's a globe. Now you have the ground as the middle. That's where we are, and how it's set up to create that star is that there are 3 levels for us to go into to the higher planes. So we even say in our teachings that 3 levels beyond ourselves, 3 levels beyond ourselves. But it's the same thing on from below. If we are in that 3rd level, like the way the teachings go, that it's from the core itself is Mother Earth, and that's the 1st level to our connection to Mother Earth. And then you got the mineral world, you got the plant world, organic world, and then you got us. You got us existing to all of us with the animals and the rocks and the trees and so forth. All that environment is where we are with things. And then you go to the sky world, and you go to the next levels, reaching up to all of creation. So that's how the sweat lodge looks. Madudu-san is our cleansing, it's our healing place, and it's the womb of our mother. Our mother is Mother Earth. So we go back into the womb. We We offer tobacco. What are we want from the ceremony? And we smile. We offer that tobacco in the fire there. So we go back we crawl in, we humble ourselves, we announce our names, we give our spirit names, we introduce each other, we go in a circular fashion, we all sit in a circle in a sweat lodge. And that's when we start bringing in our shakers, our drums. I bring in my pipe, I bring in Nibi, the medicine water. Grandfather is already waiting for us. We bring in heated rocks. Grandfathers who want to give they've waited for this purpose since creation, and now they have purpose and they're going to fulfill. So we put medicines on grandfather rocks, and it gets hot right away. So I usually just honored our connections, to Manitou, Manitou. Well, I evolved into understanding that there's a masculine and there's a masculine and feminine. There's dualities. There's that creation. The first blast was that masculine type creation energy, and then there was this mother of all creations was the second that became part of this creation way of manifesting it in a loving way, and then that's creation, and we're part of that creation. So I honor with the pouring of the three water, pour them to honor to all three of us. No, in religion, if you wanted to look at it that way, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, there's always been a Trinity. And anyway, that's how I started off, by lighting the pipe, smoking the pipe, doing all the direction, and I'll be speaking about that pipe ceremony. But I just wanted to share how I made those connections as I expand my understanding to the mysteries of life, and how all these frequencies and vibrations and these symbols, how they all interrelate to our experience here on Earth. Anyway, there's a lot of teachings in the Sweat Lodge itself, but it's basically a connecting to as above, as below, as within, and throughout all directions. We bring in that energy inwards. This is where all creation is already, but the symbol is, let's bring it all tighter into us, into our universe. And then there's all of us that have our own bundles and our hearts, our own universe. But collectively, we bring it all into a place of cleansing, a place of healing. And it's very powerful when you have all these symbols. Okay, one more. Here we go. So we call this teaching called Six Helpers, IZHAAADAA, the ones who assist the living spirit, Gishimanatu. Gishimanatu is a loving spirit. Love equals Manitou. Manitou is everything. So we say Geshe is a loving spirit, or Getche, or grand, or big, or is a great spirit. The ultimate helper is the source of all life, the existence of everything. The energy is an unconditional love that flows through all of creation. And then that's where we do the ceremonies. That's where we have our pipes and we point in these directions, like Wabanang East. And there's teachings here to teach us about how we can use that circular fashion and have these four quadrants representing many, many teachings. And teachings, the beings of the East are the animal helpers that bringing in vision, movement, and awareness. And there is a caution. There's a little teaching that the two-legged is pitiful. They will need to be looked after. We must feed them, teach them, guide them. They could destroy themselves. They will carry the power of the Creator, but not know how to use it. So there's a lot of teachings to break it down. There's the winged ones, there's those that fly, the fin ones, those that swim, those that creep, and those that crawl. Those are four-leggeds. There are two-leggeds, and all of them have purpose. The reason why they're here because they're our helpers. They are our teachers. So Anganong is the south. So we point the pipe to the south, and we're reminded of the teachings that are there, like the plant world, and the teaching that the plant helpers remind us of the medicines, the nourishment that sustain all life. They teach us about growth, trust, and the generosity of the heart. And there is so much to learn from the plant world that unable to do so here. But we have harvest our medicines during the summer to help us throughout the year. And what we do is called mishkiki. Mishkiki means medicines. Mishki means strength. And ki means the word itself, aki, meaning the earth. So medicine is simply means the strength of the earth. Asema, tobacco, is what we offer in our gratitude and appreciation of the gifts of mishkiki, of the medicines. And that is offered first. Anything we do is offered first. The tobacco, asema, is intentions. What is your intentions? So that's our kind of communication to all of creation already when you touch tobacco. Of course, there's sage and sweetgrass, and later on there'll be cedar I'll be talking about. But this is to remind us that this is our helpers. They gave their gifts, their understanding, their purpose to each other, and we got powerful medicines out there like wike and bearroot, like Labrador tea, Muskego tea. Then there are food, our sustenance that brings us energy in us. So when you pray to these to the plant world, you're essentially honoring them to say thank you for giving us the strength that comes from the earth. Nigabimanang west is the rock world, and the teaching and the rock helpers are the elders of the earth. They're the memory keepers. They've been here since the beginning of creation. And sometimes there's some new visitors that are added on to the rock world from other places. And they hold the stories of creation and the lessons of endurance and transformation. So we can learn from the rock world is sacred thunder beings. Those are the thunderbirds. They say it comes from the mountains, sacred mountains. It comes for us to remind us of the power that we have in that connection. It's also the sacred little beings, the little ones, the earth angels, the elementals. They love to be around rocks and water and crystals. And then there's the sacred mountains that have these minerals, these rocks that we use as tools, asin. And they have healing abilities on these crystals. And I've always been teaching people the last a year how to use these crystals. And it's very important to connect our energy with their energy and they amplify. But each have different purposes. So the stones are, as allies, are not objects with them. They store great. They have many memories of life on this earth, and it offers strength and healing. And again, the bowl is part of this. A pagan is the pipe ceremony. Giwitnen north, the tree world. The teaching is the tree helpers stand tall between the earth and the sky. They bridging the worlds and teaching us balance, patience, and wisdom. They remind us of our connection to breathe, to spirit, and all relations. In the tree of life, where the symbol of the tree represents us and our journey, and it's also used for healing, not only just shelter, and many other uses. And again, it's part of the pipe. Together, they work together. And there are many helpers on the tree world. Cedars is one of our four common medicines, and it's for protection. It's considered one of the first trees. Birch is the grandfather of trees, and we can get our medicines. Chaga. Poplar is a tree of life. Pine is a tree of peace. Red willow is a tree of honor. Tamarack is a tree of heart. Oak, the chief of the trees. Ogima, tree of strength. Juniper is a bit of protection against hexes and curses and just basically negative energy, especially negative thoughts that are aimed at you. Elm is a nib, ash. They all have purpose. There's medicines, and it's not only that we enjoy, like the maple syrup, and we enjoy. We can make cough medicines and healing from the trees. Ni mamaki, mamahaki. So when we look all around, down all around us is Mother Earth. And her teaching is she is our mother. She even has her own soul. She has her purpose, and it's a unique purpose. She's a great nurturer. From her body comes all forms of animal, plant, rock, and tree. She carries us with love and asks that we walk gently upon her. So Mother Earth is of course, it's the four sacred elements that are around us, that we're part of. Wind is air, is Nudin. Fire is Kudi. Water, Nibi. Earth is Kanata, or Aki. Bimap Chuyin, Aki, the land that gives life. It's also the spirit of her. Her essence is felt everywhere. So it's also the space that we're part of. We're part of the earth. So when you look up and all around us to the sky, Gizik is up to the sky world, and the sky beings bring light, movement, and sacred timing. It's our seasons. It's telling us what we need to do. So we say Father Sky, it's like Mother Earth, Father Sky. But it's also, you can see the moon, you can see the sun, you can see all the stars. They remind us to walk in alignment with the stars, to honor the cycles of the day and night, to remember that our spirits are eternal, we're infinite. So the sky world, and I did these teachings prior of the first family of creation, but Kisis, the sun, is our grandfather, and a lot of our ceremonies do face the rising of the sun. It's the beginning of a new day. It brings new opportunities, and the moon is Tipikidis is our grandmother. Tipikidis. And the star world, or the stars, there's other suns, there's other solar systems, they're all out there, the planet worlds. And then you got the rainbows. After a storm, the rainbow shows its beauty. It's the ribbons of the sun, like a ribbon shirt. Northern lights is our ancestors that are dancing. They display their dancing all around us. Then you got the clouds and the winds and the sky shield that protects us from the harshness of the of what's way out there. And I already talked about the 4 levels beyond the moon, which I'll talk about now. So together, these 6 helpers form the living circle of support around Gitchima, teaching balance between the worlds above, below, within, and around. The foundation of Menopesian, the good life, is what's it's really all about. It's not about the lessons. It's about balance. It's about love, having a good life. It's also, of course, lessons is growing, ascending to other levels. This order follows the natural movement of life through elderhood. So when we honor, when we use pipe, we're going into circular directions, and it reminds us of all the teachings of life. We assign colors, like color is illumination. Yellow. The teaching is vision and beginnings, but it begins with childhood, birth, and childhood. We have teachings we can assign spirit, or how we were lowered here to have this life. When you go around, you go to the south, you think about the youth. We say these teachings in the Sweat Lodge. Our childhood and children around us. We think about youth, adolescents, and those that are part of us. You also learn the teachings that is growth and trust and passion. You're growing, you're developing your emotions, because life here is about emotions. It's not just love of everything, but the emotions of what is fear and everything else in between. I guess also we say red. Red is like around. We can see the sun gets hotter, and that's how we know that's the south is going to be very hot. Is the other color when you go west. West is our stage is our adulthood, our journey into adulthood. It's about reflection. It's a healing journey, experience. So with that is the reminder we are people of the water. The earth is the water. Mother Earth is the water. We are the water. And our physical body will go through all these changes. The water, the north is white. We go into the dream world. The dream world. We go into our higher understanding, our connection to it all. It's guidance. It's about renewal. It's about knowing, because your spirit already knows all this. Is in that earth journey, there's a veil of forgetfulness. Even right away, they're spiritual, they're fire spirits, but they start getting the human programs from their family, from their community, society, schools, and so forth. And then it's a journey to find our way back to knowing all this. We know all this. So from our emotional body states to find our spirit again, but it's about our mind is the thing that holds us back. It's good to learn, but you gotta process it. You gotta do the shadow work. You gotta go into that next stage of, and you're back to spirit. And I have it up to here because my training will go a lot deeper, and it's just like I guess the saying goes, it goes into the rabbit hole. Now, how do we undo this slide? Wait, oh, there you go. So yeah, it goes a lot deeper in my presentation because it's a full day. And when I do this, it's the start with a pipe ceremony, and then I get into traditional teachings, and again I get into the journey of a human being. You know, where are we things in terms of transitional? And I did this with our national gathering there, where it was the story of about the crow and the eagle. But this one expands out, talking about the levels of the turkey, the crow, the eagle, and which represents, our 3D existence. Where we are now is that 4D transformation, 5D, where it's all about unity and love. But it goes higher yet. It goes higher yet. So those are the things I'll be talking about this Saturday. But anyway, for us, this is what I shared for our day.
Yawa, Chimagwachalan, always for your words and for what you share for the wellness of people. And, you know, that we talk when we gather about how important it is to continue to gather and share the wisdom that prophecy spoke or shared, you know, told us that we're in this time right now where Indigenous wisdom like this is what's going to save humanity. And we're in for the work that we do as Grandmother's Voice, bringing people together. Can sometimes be challenging from the outside world, you know, coming into the circle, challenging, you know, why are we sharing this knowledge? Why are we sharing this wisdom? This is supposed to be for who knows what, you know, and those are the outside energies that are, we can say, trying to stop us from having this wisdom. And I don't know if you want to share something about that.
Because we did talk about this for many times in the work that you're doing as Grandmother Voices, talking about we don't hoard this because we are part of the human family. We're all one. We come from the same source. But it's been prophesied that we are the solution of a planet that is in pain. And if you have the remedy, why hold back? You're supposed to help. That's one of the there's a purpose of being a human being, and there was a call out that says help in this transition. So you got all these old souls that had many multi lives. They said, "Oh, I'll go again. I thought I was done, but I'll go," because they know what needs to be done. There's also those that came from other planets, other dimensions, and says, "Oh, I'll go try this. I'll go and help out." And then there are some lower level angels that says, "I want to see how it is to be witnessing all this." But guess what? When you all come, there's a veil that goes over you, and some are going to be strong and not have a heavy veil. And there are those that are working towards lifting it, and sometimes in layers. So what we have to remind ourselves that we're here for the fact is to help all of humanity in this transition of a new world. So it's an hourglass, like I said. So we're on the bottom of that hourglass, and there's a lot of sand that's coming down. You know, we're having a hard time pushing through, but we're that portal where it all counts. Real work begins, and that's letting go, do your shadow work, do your healing, so you become lighter and lighter and lighter, not so heavy, big dragged down, but you now have that opportunity now to push through where you're supposed to go, and we're all going to get there. There's going to be those that says, "No, don't do it. It's too hard." Some will say it's too hard because they don't understand, or they don't know. They forgot their purpose. So when we get pushed, or when we're in that position, we do a lot of work to bring people to help out let's all do this, get to the same place. There are those that already are waiting and says we're setting it up, we're setting it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a person of symbols. I'm a person of imagination. I'm a storyteller, and this is how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Symbols. So that's where we are right now. And a lot of people are asking, why is it so hard? Why am I getting in an accidents? Why like all of a sudden, like when things are really going well, then something happens. I think maybe it's reflection. Maybe it's a moment to look at yourself, slow down. We all have different reasons why things happen, and we have to explore them. And along the way is, what is the lesson for me in this present moment? How to go with things that don't serve me today, and that's the healing journey
Mm-hmm.
to lighten up, to get somewhere else.
I love that. Yeah, definitely that reflection and analogy that you shared of the veil. Mine's really, really heavy, which is why I believe I get to hang out with people like you and the grandmas and Dennis Wendigo and my elders who continue to show up to keep me well and remind me of my purpose and stay true to who I am and to whoever watches this.
Yeah, we have to open up and see all the gifts surrounding us, including the people that come in our lives, because they're there to help you in that transformation. So when we struggle, just don't understand or whatever, it's those lights that come in. They are a light to remind you you are the light, and let us help you.
Yeah. Achu McWitch, from my heart to yours, you're amazing human being human and sharing your light. We'll see you. Thank you to everyone. Oh, go ahead.
This will be. I got a busy day. I got to go to a town of Winkler and talk to youth and know who we are. That's good because it's dominantly non-Indigenous, and they know our ceremonies, our teachings, and that's good to share us who we are. They're looking for answers. They're not only curious, they're looking for their own answers. So I get to do that today.
And that's wonderful because they our society doesn't have the answers right now. So Yama for all your work. Love you. And to everyone who watches and supports Grandmother's Voice, thank you so much for joining us. And you'll see Alan on Monday.
Yes, Monday evening.
Okay. Yawa.
Miigwech.